Here are the top stories for today, December 15, 2021. The Interagency Task Force has decided to retain the Alert Level 2 status in all parts of the country. President Rodrigo Duterte continues to enjoy high trust and approval rating. The government is confident it will be able to achieve higher GDP growth within the year. And Malacanang assures the 1,000 peso bills containing the portraits of 3 Filipino World War II heroes would remain in circulation. Good day, I am William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. The Interagency Task Force has decided to retain the Alert Level 2 status in all parts of the country. In a press briefing today, Acting Presidential Spokesperson and Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles says the IATF has adopted the guidelines on the nationwide implementation of the alert level system for COVID-19 response. He says the country is not yet ready to ease to Alert Level 1 as there is still a need to further ramp up the COVID-19 vaccination drive and that the government is just being very cautious.
Naprubahan ng IATF ang rekomendasyon na ipanatili sa Alert Level 2 ang lahat ng lugar sa Pilipinas mula bukas 16 ng Disyembre hanggang sa katapusan at 31 ng Disyembre. The entire country will continue under Alert Level 2 beginning tomorrow, December 16, until December 31, 2021. Kaugnay nito, inirepeal ng IATF ang guidelines on the implementation of community quarantine in the Philippines as amended at ang pag-adapt ng IATF sa guidelines on the nationwide implementation of the alert level systems for COVID-19 response as amended. Sa mga frontliners, kawani ng gobyerno, mga LGUs, volunteers, at sa ating mga kababayan, this would not have been possible without your cooperation, your help, and your sacrifices. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
The Philippines has confirmed on Wednesday its first 2 cases of the COVID-19 Omicron variant. The Department of Health said one is a returning overseas Filipino who arrived from Japan on December 1. The other case is a Nigerian national who arrived from Nigeria on November 30th. Both are asymptomatic and already undergoing isolation in a facility under the Bureau of Quarantine. The DOH earlier assured it is prepared for the entry of the more transmissible Omicron variant.
Batay sa anunsyo ng DOH, may dalawa, pero yan ay malamang imported cases. So far, yes, sir. I would suspect. And so the DOH, the Epidemiology Bureau, the regional surveillance unit officers, the DOQ, the DOTR, they're all on track in doing what needs to be done.
Acting Presidential Spokesperson and Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles says incoming travelers from the red list countries will not be allowed to enter the country except Filipinos returning to the country via government-initiated repatriation, non-government repatriation, and bayanihan flights. In a press briefing today, Nograles announced that all fully vaccinated passengers from red list countries must present a negative RT-PCR test taken within 72 hours prior to departure from the country of origin and will undergo facility-based quarantine until the release of negative RT-PCR taken on the 7th day. They will also be placed under home monitoring until their 14th day. For unvaccinated passengers coming from the red list countries, they will also submit their negative RT-PCR test taken within 72 hours of departure from their country of origin, will undergo facility-based quarantine until the release of the negative RT-PCR test taken on the 10th day, and will also be under home quarantine until the 14th day.
8 po ang mga lugar na nasa red list. Ito ay ang mga sumusunod: ang Andorra, France, Monaco, Northern Mariana Islands, Reunion, San Marino, South Africa, at Switzerland. Ito naman po ang mga bansa o mga teritoryong nasa green list. Bangladesh, Benin, Bhutan, British Virgin Islands, Chad, People's Republic of China, Comoros, Ivory Coast, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Djibouti, Equatorial Guinea, Falkland Islands, Malvinas, the Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Japan, Kenya, Kosovo, Kuwait, Kyrgyzstan, Liberia, Montserrat, Morocco, Oman, Pakistan, Paraguay, Rwanda, Sabah without an H, this is the special municipality of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, Saint Bartholomew, Saint Pierre and Miquelon, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Saint Eustatius, Sudan, Taiwan, Timor-Leste, Togo, Uganda, at United Arab Emirates. 41 ang bilang ng mga lugar na nasa green list. Ang mga lugar na hindi ko binanggit ay nasa ilalim po ng yellow list.
The Philippines will register high 2021 economic growth rate. This as acting presidential spokesperson and cabinet secretary Carlo Nograles announced that the country will achieve at least 5% economic growth rate before the year ends. Nograles reported today that Philippine economic managers have adjusted the country's 2021 growth rate to 5.5% from its previous forecast of 4 to 5%. The Asian Development Bank, or ADB, has also raised its economic outlook for the Philippines. According to ADB, the country is expected to grow by 5.1% in 2021 and 6% in 2022. ADB said that the growth momentum has clearly picked up on the back of the government's vigorous drive to vaccinate Filipinos against the COVID-19 virus. Other economists have also raised their 2021 forecasts for the Philippines.
Our economic managers, through the Development Budget Coordination Committee, or DBCC, have adjusted our growth target for 2021 to 5.5% from its previous forecast of 4 to 5%. This comes after our strong performance in the third quarter and the significant decline in the number of COVID-19 cases as a result of our accelerated vaccination drive. They say, and I quote, "As we continuously relax restrictions and increase mobility, economic performance is expected to accelerate further in the last quarter of the year." End of quote.
President Rodrigo Duterte continues to enjoy higher trust and approval ratings. In a fourth quarter survey conducted by Publicus Asia last week, President Duterte shows a 65% approval rating. It is higher by 5 percentage points from 60% approval rating in the third quarter. Meanwhile, his trust rating is 2% higher than in the last quarter, from 53% to 55%. President Duterte got the highest share for bravery with 80%, love for the Philippines with 72%, decisiveness with 72%, and concern for Filipinos with 71%. Meanwhile, the survey also reveals that presidential daughter and Davao City Vice Mayor Sara Duterte has the top choice for vice president with 55%. Her running mate, presidential aspirant Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., emerged as the preferred choice with 52%, followed by Robredo with 20%. The survey was conducted from December 6 to 10 last week. Presidential daughter Mayor Sara Duterte supports the withdrawal of President Rodrigo Duterte from the senatorial race and Senator Christopher Lawrence Go from the presidential race. In a statement, Mayor Sara said the filing of candidacy and withdrawal is a personal decision and that we can only support that decision. President Duterte submitted his statement of withdrawal yesterday afternoon, a few hours after Go withdrew his own COC for president. Malacanang urges the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth, to settle claims for reimbursement of a number of hospitals. This after 7 private hospitals in Iloilo announced that they will no longer renew their accreditation next year over their unpaid claims amounting to more than 545 million pesos. In a press briefing, acting presidential spokesperson and Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles said President Rodrigo Duterte has already issued a directive to pay the hospitals immediately. The involved Iloilo hospitals are the Iloilo Mission Hospital, St. Paul's Hospital of Iloilo, Iloilo Doctors Hospital, Medicus Medical Center, the Medical City of Iloilo, QualiMed Hospital Iloilo, and Metro Iloilo Hospital and Medical Center Incorporated.
Well, ang directive lang naman sa PhilHealth is to immediately makipag-ugnayan agad sa mga hospitals, and si Pangulong Duterte has already issued a directive in previous cabinet meeting na rin, na to pay the hospitals immediately. Bayaran agad ang mga hospital. So because of that directive, nagkaroon itong debit credit payment method, which again nag-two waves na nga. And then now PhilHealth is already preparing everything to do the third wave. So, ang panawagan nila sa mga hospitals ay to cooperate with their DCPM method so that mas mabilis mabayaran.
More regions in the country are now classified under the minimal risk category for COVID-19. This as the country logged an average of 380 cases per day from December 8 to 14. In an online media forum, Director Alethea de Guzman of the Department of Health said the number is 26% lower than the average of 516 cases per day during the previous week. De Guzman said this among our lowest cases since we had the peak in August last year. The National Capital Region, or NCR, also reported a decrease in the number of average daily cases from 104 in December 1 to 7 to 83 on December 8 to 14. De Guzman said all regions are at minimal risk case classification and the health system's capacity are at low risk in all areas. All local government units across the country will get access to an equitable distribution of COVID-19 vaccines with the arrival of more donations from European countries. This after the Philippines received another vaccine donations of 1,058,400 Moderna doses from France, 453,600 Moderna doses from Spain, and 945,600 single-dose Janssen jabs from the Netherlands. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III welcomed the arrival of the vaccine shipments at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. He said the government will provide the bulk of supplies to the island provinces nationwide, as well as in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao to further ramp up inoculation drive in the far-flung communities. Despite the weather disturbance in some places, Duque hoped the government will be able to administer about 7 million doses during Phase 2 of the Bayanihan Bakunahan Drive from December 15 to 17. The Philippines has so far received a total of 161,062,120 doses of COVID-19 vaccines, both procured and donations since February. The Philippines received an additional 2 million doses of Sinovac vaccines from China. National Task Force Against COVID-19 Chief Implementer Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr. welcomed the arrival of the donated vaccines along with Chinese Ambassador to the Philippines, Huang Xilian. Galvez said the donated jabs will be distributed in different far-flung communities. The latest shipment brought the country's total Sinovac vaccines to 54,030,400 doses, of which 4 million doses are donations from the Chinese government. Xilian said the Chinese government is committed to assisting the Philippines to revive its economy through scaling up the COVID-19 vaccination program. The Philippines is slated to receive more than 24 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines from various vaccine manufacturers until the end of this week. Still to come, Malacanang assures the 1,000 peso bill with the pictures of World War II heroes remains in circulation. And the Philippines underscores the support of other countries in the row involving the disputed South China Sea. Details ahead, keep it here on the PNA Newsroom.
Mga kabida, hindi pa rin nawawala ang banta ng COVID-19. Upang masiguro ang kaligtasan ninyo at ng inyong pamilya, hanapin ang Safety Seal sticker sa inyong pupuntahan. Mapamall man ito, kainan, pasyalan o kahit anong business establishment. Ang Safety Seal ay tanda ng isang establishmento ay sumusunod sa minimum public health standards ng gobyerno para maiwasan ang pagkalat ng COVID-19. Ating tandaan, bida ang may disiplina. #SafetySeal para sa ligtas na pamilya, ligtas na bayan.
Weather disturbance Odette has intensified from a severe tropical storm into a typhoon. Pag-asa said Odette is still over Philippine Sea and is forecast to make a landfall in Caraga or Eastern Visayas tomorrow afternoon or evening December 16. Signal number 2, though, is already raised over Surigao del Sur and the eastern portion of Surigao del Norte, including Sigagao Islands and Bucas Grande Island. Signal number 1, however, is hoisted over Sorsogon, Masbate, southern part of Romblon, all Samar provinces, Leyte, Biliran, Southern Leyte, Bohol, Cebu, the 2 Negros provinces, Siquijor, Iloilo, Capiz, Aklan, Antique, Guimaras, the 2 Agusan provinces, rest of Surigao del Norte, Dinagat Islands, northern part of Bukidnon, Misamis Oriental, Camiguin, northern part of Misamis Occidental, northern part of Zamboanga del Norte. Malacanang on Tuesday assured the 1,000 peso bills containing the portraits of 3 Filipino World War II heroes would remain in circulation. Citing the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, acting presidential spokesperson Cabinet Secretary Carlo Noglares said the new banknotes that feature the Philippine Eagle would only be released as part of a test for its possible adoption. He noted that the banknote featuring the Philippine Eagle is for test circulation only to test the polymer material. The BSP earlier said the polymer 1,000 peso bill is part of their efforts to ensure that banknotes are more hygienic, sustainable, durable, and cost-effective. Currently, Philippine banknotes are made of 80% cotton and 20% abaca. Nograles also said the new banknote would have more sophisticated security features. The first batch of polymer 1,000 peso banknotes would be delivered in April 2022. The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, is asking for more time before it can release the list of official candidates for the May 9, 2022 elections. COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez said the poll body will be needing a couple of weeks more to come up with a list due to a number of unresolved nuisance cases. It was previously announced that COMELEC may come out with a final lineup on Wednesday. After completing the list of official candidates, the COMELEC will next prepare for the printing of ballots. The campaign period will start on February 8 for national candidates and March 25 for local bets. The last day will be on May 7. Overseas voting will run from April 10 until the actual election day. The Philippines underscored the urgency of the Code of Conduct in the South China Sea amid the heightened tension in the area. The Philippines gave the statement in a meeting with the ministers of the Group of 7 and the ASEAN in Liverpool, United Kingdom on December 12. Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr. said the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, and the 2016 Arbitral Award remain the twin anchors of Manila positions and activities in the disputed waters. Locsin expressed the country's appreciation for the support of other nations. The COC is expected to be a regional framework that establishes the rules and standards for peace and stability amid the maritime row in South China Sea. In a separate statement, Locsin recognized the G7's concern amid latest developments in the area, as well as its opposition to any unilateral actions to change the status quo and the seizure of its maritime features. In our news overseas, peace in the Korean Peninsula may become a reality soon as the United States, China, and North Korea have agreed in principle to officially end the Korean War. President Moon Jae-in in South Korea will push for this accord to happen during a press conference with Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison following bilateral summit talks in Canberra. Moon added that officially ending the war would help stalled talks between South and North Korea and between North Korea and the United States. The Korean War was fought from 1950 to 1953 between North and South Korea, with China and the Soviet Union supporting the North and the US, United Kingdom, and Turkey backing the South. The conflict ended on July 27, 1953, but no peace accord was signed between the two parties to this day. Up next, lawmakers ratify a bill raising the age for statutory rape to 16. And Bacolod City kicks off Christmas with the unveiling of lights at the public plaza. More stories when the PNA Newsroom returns.
Mga kabida, COVID-19 may be here for a while as we continue to aim for population protection through vaccination. So to keep you and your family safe, look for the Safety Seal sticker whenever you go to malls, eat out in restaurants, or visit any private or public establishments. This Safety Seal certification signifies that an establishment is compliant with health and safety protocols set by the government to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Kaya you're guaranteed of health and safety consciousness of the places you go to. Remember, bida ang may tatak. Check if there is a safety seal along the entrance area of the place you're visiting para ligtas ang pamilya, ligtas ang bayan.
The House of Representatives on Tuesday ratified a bill raising the age of statutory rape from the current 12 years old to 16 years old. Zambales Representative Cheryl Deloso Montalia, chair of the House Committee on Revision of Law, said that lawmakers set the age of statutory rape to under 16 years of age in view of the global standard on statutory rape. They also aligned the age of consent in the bill with those in other crimes under the Criminal Code and other anti-child abuse and exploitation laws. Tingog Party List Representative Yeda Marie Romualdez said establishing a minimum age of sexual consent is the most important and critical criteria in protecting minors from sexual violence. Current Philippine laws provide that sexual intercourse with children below 12 years of age is illegal and tantamount to rape. At least 21 families in Camarines Sur are starting over with livelihood grants from the Department of Social Welfare and Development under the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa or BP2 program. The beneficiaries are all from Metro Manila who want to permanently live in the province. The assistance packages range from 27,000 up to 50,000 pesos. The beneficiaries also receive transportation assistance, family support, and transitory shelter assistance as part of their transition phase in their respective communities. Interested families or individuals may apply through the official website of the BP2 program or visit the nearest Balik Provincia Center in the barangay. Over 1 million residents in Caraga have successfully registered for the second step of the Philippine Identification System, or PhilSys, as of November 30. The Philippine Statistics Authority said the number is 36.8% of the region's population of 2.8 million. The agency said 3 modes of registrations were implemented in the region: the assisted Step 1 registration, or the house-to-house registration, the online registration, and the institutional registration. Agusan del Sur got the highest number of registrations with over 324,000. The agency again called on residents in Caraga to register and secure their Philippine identification cards. The Zamboanga City Health Office encourages everyone anew to get vaccinated against COVID-19. This, at least, or 94% of the 1,084 people who died here due to the coronavirus were unvaccinated. Dr. Dulce Amor Miravite, City Health Officer, said 86 patients representing 61% of the 140 active cases were unvaccinated, while the remaining 54 were inoculated. Miravita said they will activate 38 vaccination centers during the 3-day national vaccination days from December 20 until December 22. The Zamboanga Task Force COVID-19 data tracker showed that the city has so far logged over 22,000 confirmed cases, with 21,000 recoveries and 140 active cases. Meanwhile, the Department of Health reports that some 2,570 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine that were distributed to different areas in the Zamboanga Peninsula have expired. The DOH said the doses have expired after the recipient local government units failed to use them. The jabs were delivered to the recipient LGUs in October and expired on November 30. The doses, which are still in the hands of the LGUs, will be returned to the DOH. Dr. Joshua Brillantes, DOH Regional Director, said the concerned LGUs are required to submit an explanation why they did not use the jabs. Christmas is in the air in Bacolod City. Last night, the City of Smiles kicked off its holiday celebration as thousands of colorful lights lit up the Bacolod Public Plaza. The popular square was awash in a kaleidoscope of lights decorating its key locations. Visitors flocked to the 40-foot neon-hued passageway dubbed the Tunnel of Lights in the middle of the plaza. Meanwhile, the bandstand transformed into the Light Castle, while the nearby Jubilee Tower is showcased as the Tower of Lights. Mayor Evelio Leonardo thanked everyone who supported the project as he assured Bacolodnons the city will be back on track once the COVID-19 pandemic is over. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. The Interagency Task Force has decided to retain the Alert Level 2 status in all parts of the country. President Rodrigo Duterte continues to enjoy high trust and approval rating. The government is confident it will be able to achieve higher GDP growth within the year. And Malacanang assures the 1,000 peso bills containing the portraits of 3 Filipino World War II heroes would remain in circulation. As Filipinos, we all have a vital role to play in preventing the spread of COVID-19. So remember, wear your face masks and face shields, wash your hands often, practice safe physical distancing, go out only for essential reasons, and get vaccinated as soon as possible to protect ourselves, our families, and the community. Together, we can beat COVID-19. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. For more news content, check our webpage or log on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And for our holiday countdown, it is only 10 more days to go before Christmas Day. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, we tell stories that inspire change. I am William Theo. Good day, everyone.